everyone to our third community call. We're growing larger by the day. Let's give a couple more minutes for other members to have the chance to join.
Good evening.
Good evening, and good morning and good afternoon.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna start the call in a couple more minutes, probably 3 minutes. Of your patience. All right. So we have 42 people in the call right now. I think it's appropriate to start. We can hear you. If you can mute yourself, we're just gonna start the call now, and then we'll open up questions, community freestyle feedback. Awesome, cool guys. So really, it's been an amazing 33 days actually since we since BabelFish tweeted the first tweet, and we've really been floored by how quickly the community has grown and how it's been spreading. So thank you all for being here. This is our third call. We have now about 50 people in the call. Just last week there were probably 10 of us, and the week prior to that about 5. So it's really fascinating to see so many of you identifying with what we're trying to build together in a decentralized way. So yeah, some stats that I want to share with you. We put out there a very simple form to onboard crazy experimenters that don't panic DeFi. And right now we have over 200 volunteers. We're still going through that list. Most of our needs right now tend to do with community management and marketing, as most of the dev team it's set for now. So if we haven't reached for now, just be patient. Some of you are filling the form again. We're seeing all of them. We're just sort of like doing it on a priority by priority. Speaking of that, if you do know of someone that has a tech stack with React, TypeScript, Web3, and Solidity, that is definitely one of the priorities. So if you can refer us someone, we will be very happy to speak with you. Yeah, next stat right now on Discord, our community, it's over 2,000 members, which is again fascinating to think that only in just a month we've grown so fast. And on Twitter, over 1,000. We've begun to onboard several people to the team to help manage all of the feedback that we're receiving. And yeah, and we basically posted our first bounty drop. So 420,000 fish, which as soon as we have a successful TGE, those will be given to the contributors, and then we will adopt accordingly. So if you want to join the team, this is a really good team to start showing value and contributing as much as you can. Again, we're building this together. We need all hands on deck. Yeah. Now next amazing stat, the SIP that we posted, the document here to gather feedback on Discord. It's been we're parsing still through all of the comments, not only on the Google Doc. We've had very good comments, including for the tokenomics, and here on Discord we've had a very passionate back and forth between different members, pointing their different views, how it should work. We want to, to make this as much of a fair launch as we can with the communities that we belong with and that add value. And on that point, I really want to say that part of the massive growth that we've seen, and just to clarify here, it comes from Blockchain Whispers. Just a really passionate community and a talented community. And I think that's important to clarify for those of you that didn't have the chance to join the premium community. So that's an important thing. I would say that probably 70% comes from Blockchain Whispers, another 20% comes from Sovereign, and then 10% of the community came earlier. And so yeah, I think that's really important to clarify, because I think there's a lot of confusion on that point. And then we also posted the SIP up for debate while it's a draft on the Sovereign forum. And so again, fascinating to see. We've quickly become the most, we're the hot topic basically on Sovereign. It's the most debated entry in the forum there. And so we were hoping to have a final version of the SIP to be posting today officially. It may take us couple more days than we expect while we continue developing the protocol. So we really want to do this right. And yeah, I think the purpose of this call was to share with you guys, how quickly we're growing with the community. We think that we have a very simple message and a very simple product for a very important problem that needs to be solved, starting with Sovereign, and that is simply to aggregate stablecoin liquidity, make the interface simple, and not have fractured books. So we think it's a really cool solution that will be a great proof of concept from Sovereign, and then after that, it will be available in different chains and in different DeFi protocols. XUSD will begin to be accepted as well. So yeah, those are the main things that I really wanted to share with you guys. I am sure that some of you may have some questions. So I'm fairly, as we continue to onboard community managers, we will probably get better at managing the Q&A. What I would suggest is, if you want to speak now, have some questions, more feedback, some questions that you feel are not being answered in the Discord by us, just sort of like toggle your mic, mute on and off a couple times, and I'll sort of like select from there. I think it's it's a bit centralized way to select who gets to speak, but I think it's the most civilized way to start with, and we will get better at it. Yeah. Slow.
Yes, hey, Dark Knight.
Hi, Buff.
I hope everyone is doing good. So I was talking to a couple friends about the Fish project and the pre-sale, and the most frequently asked question was whether there is a minimum that you have to stake of the sovereign tokens in order to be eligible to participate in that. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. I think we lost
Yes.
Dark Knight.
Okay, for some reason I can't hear Dark Knight.
No, we all can't.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. It's kind of weird. I was feeling like I was in a bubble or so.
No, no problem. We're trying to solve it right now. One
Okay,
moment.
no worries.
Okay. 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 I hope no one can hear me.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, my connection broke off. Flo, I think I
No.
answered your question. Did I cut off before finishing my sentence?
If I speak for myself, I didn't hear anything after I finished the
Sure.
question.
Sure. So, um, what we are
We missed.
considering there, yes. So based on the feedback, um, what we're thinking there, just to be as fair as possible, it's no minimum. But what's important here is the cutoff date. And so we're thinking that the cutoff date would be either by the end the April, which is just end of April, which just ended, or the 1st of May, um, since by that time both most of the sovereign community members had heard about BabelFish, as well as the sort of like the BabelFish name got dropped on Blockchain Whisper. So if you were in neither of those as well, we were considering that conversation as well. So we think that is the first way to access the sale as an SOV staker.
Just for clarification, so you said
Mhm.
1st of May, but 1st of May already happened, so you assume that people already staked it on 1st of May.
Yeah, so those are the two dates that we are considering, since most of the chatter and feedback around, okay, well, how can we participate? How can we do it? We started basically like whispering in a way, you should just stake some sort of amount. And if you were active in the participation, you would have heard about it. So those are the dates that we are considering. So no minimum, but the cutoff date would be somewhere around the 1st of May or the end of April.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
May I also ask a question? So, hi everyone.
Can you? Is this Quixus?
No,
If you can just say your pseudonym, that'd be great.
yeah, I'm running under the Pascal T.
Awesome. Yeah, Pascal.
So, as a former BCV member as well, I quitted like in March. I wasn't aware of BabelFish by the community, but still, of course, because I'm another contributor on Sovereign as well. So this to allow them, the early adopters on Sovereign as well as the BCV community to contribute in the first drop round of BabelFish. So this will be your a way of how do you say that, of shown the kind of loyalty or reward the kind of loyalty to early adopters, right?
Yeah, so we are also getting a lot of feedback there. Some people are saying that a percentage of it, of the first sale, should be opened in kind of like a first come, first serve, similar to Sovereign. And then some people are even proposing airdrops. We need to evaluate, the first one seems more likely. The second one, we need to look into the tokenomics to make sure that the fish tokens are staked for us. If there's an airdrop, that it would be staked for a sufficiently long time, so there's no sell pressure, and that it makes sense. We've seen other projects like Cope, for example, do this in a successful way. So those are two options that we're also considering to be fair to the sovereign community as it comes to the first day. But nothing. It's again. So yeah. So it's still we're going through all of these comments again. We haven't parsed, but those are the two things that we're considering.
I mean, there are quite a few on the draft for the SIP. I read it through and still not finished it. So, but actually, it's good that the community is so active.
Yeah, yes, I love it, and this is part of it. I think this whole conversation is part of it. You know, I think what's important is to keep it civil. We want just this project to launch in a decentralized way from day one. We can't make everyone happy, but we're going to try our hardest to do something where everybody feels, you know, sort of listened to. And again, I think the members of this young but quickly growing community that are not in the Venn diagram between sovereign and blockchain whispers, it may be like 10%, but we want to, we think it's important. That's why we started the drops, the bounties. So that's one way as well. And yeah, just gathering all the feedback now to do something that really works for everyone, and we're all content, and we can work together to make this project, which is what matters, the protocol, a reality ASAP, starting in sovereign.
Great, thank you for the for answering the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Dark Knight.
This is Karan. Just wanted to check, like, what is the minimum to stake SOV to be eligible for fish?
Yes, Surya. So this question was asked earlier by Flo.
Okay.
And so one thing that we definitely, most likely are going to be doing in that regard is no minimum, but what matters it's actually the cutoff date. And so we are considering the cutoff date, meaning the date by which you had to already be a staker, to be April 30, the end of April, or the 1st of May. And so if you were staking by then you should be clear for day 2.
Okay.
Yes, just before now, you told that you would give some first come first serve biases for round 1 also, right? For the sovereign community. Or then
Nimesh, could you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you well.
Yeah, I will reiterate. You told that you will offer first come first serve for sovereign community for round, right?
It's something that we are considering. Because the first round right now it's for the blockchain whispers, which, as discussed earlier, it's basically a majority of this community at the moment of really helpful members. But we are considering a way to involve sovereign members as well on the first day. We just need to figure out exactly how. Haven't updated the SIP yet.
And my one more doubt is that what I understood about this project is that whatever stable coins we collect, we will put in a lending protection, we will earn interest, right? So
correct.
And after that, that interest use it to buy fish tokens from the market, or you will release from the reserves. I was
similar, but so what BabelFish is doing, it's a very simple solution. It's very simple to understand. It's basically a decentralized bank. It accepts stablecoin deposits from different chains, starting with Ethereum, Binance, and Rootstock. And what it does with that collateral is for users that seek to use stablecoins in a different chain. So we issue an abstract or meta stablecoin in the chain that the user wishes to go. And then we take that collateral that we receive and we lend it in battle-tested lending protocols such as Aave or Compound, where we are earning stablecoins on stablecoins, which we then periodically move over through our own system and bridges being built by Sovereign to acquire Bitcoin for insurance. So that is the alpha version that we are putting forth.
So it's for the insurance of the protocol, and it doesn't split in community.
Can you rephrase the question? Sorry.
So the interest it's earned by protocol in some lending protocol which you put the stable coins. So the whole interest is just will be going to insurance fund, or will there will be any amount which splitted among the fish holders? Like,
So
would there be?
yes, So that's a great question, Nimesh. We also have someone shared similar feedback to that on the Google document, basically in which a percentage of the interest earned on the yield of the collateral could be used to do fish buybacks, and then basically rewarded to fish stakers proportionately. So we think that's a very creative idea that would give additional value to the fish token.
Or else we can burn the tokens, or we can distribute for the stakeholder, or those people who are staking. We can some mechanism to increase the value of.
Yes, there's many things that we can do. The alpha product that we want to release is the one where we just use 100% for insurance, but using a percentage, for fish stakers. It's something that can definitely. It sounds really interesting. It makes a lot of sense. And again, this is something that the decisions won't be once we have the alpha version out there. We expect to also have a functioning governance, where together we can vote in these sort of decisions. And it wouldn't surprise me that the majority of the fish stakers or the voters would vote for a proposal like this. If you have more ideas, feel free to share them for the protocol. Feel free to share them on the Discord general chat.
Yeah, I want.
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for testnet, but you're doing it in internal. That's what.
I couldn't hear the last phrase. You broke off.
So when the testnet is available for to test for public.
So right now we're doing testnet privately, our team of pseudonymous devs, which I think will become more open over time. And so by the time that you can try it, it's most likely going to be just on mainnet. We're not doing any sort of, we're not opening that part to the public yet, but we may see some bounties
È
for
uscita
testnet.
una notizia bomba e
Mainnet
sono un po'
later on.
caccato addosso. Praticamente.
Hi, Dark Knight. It's Unlucky 2004.
Hi, Araki. How are you?
Hi, fine. So I missed the first 3 minutes, so the answer may be heard, but what is the planned time horizon for the token sale round 1, round 2, and the launch of the platform approximately? Or
Yeah, so the interesting what's really cool about BabelFish, in my opinion, it's it was supposed to be a stealth project that it started among sovereigns. We saw a need, we saw the opportunity, we saw the right the DeFi composability tools being available for us to build a simple solution that could attract liquidity and basically facilitate stablecoin flow across chains, right? Keeping yield farms healthy while also benefiting sovereign. The first tweet was just 33 days ago, and we've been really busy cranking with different members, both of sovereign and blockchain whispers, to deliver a product. I cannot commit to an exact date, but I would feel relatively comfortable to say within 5 weeks if all goes according to plan.
Okay, 5 weeks you mean in launching on sovereign, or 5 weeks the first sales?
Yes. Yes and yes. It's hard to commit to times, but okay. 5 weeks gives us enough flexibility. Yeah, 5 weeks. I think it's fair. I would say I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver to you guys, because we really want to do this together. So yeah, I would feel comfortable giving that time frame.
Yeah. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Go ahead, Green Hornet.
Thank you. If you take the example of Coinbase, for example, or other custodians, they have the power to freeze and blacklist accounts and wallets containing USDC or their stable coins. Like Coinbase did it many times. They blacklisted wallets and frozen them containing USDC. So if people inject their USDC into your protocol, do they become immune of that risk of one day the custodian might try to freeze their accounts? And what happens in that case?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Part of the reason that BabelFish has an insurance fund, it's against protocol risk, and it's against stablecoin failures, and even things like what you're mentioning. And that's the reason that we want to start accumulating a Bitcoin insurance fund as fast as we can. There have been cases. There's actually more blacklisting by USDT than by USDC. That being said, some of our team members have good relationships with many of the stablecoin developers, which also follow us on Twitter. So, I believe that the mission that we have here with BabelFish, we're building this in a very transparent, open way. And I don't see really a reason why using BabelFish would lead to any sort of censorship. The only problems that I could foresee is protocol or stablecoin failure, and that's the reason that we need an insurance fund.
Okay, because this was going to be my second question. Like, for example, USDT is only backed, I think, by 67 cents. One USDT is backed by 67 cents. So failure risk is always possible. So I guess this is why you have the insurance fund. But so thank you for answering the second question. But just coming back to the first part, what happens to the user in that case? I'm not saying that Coinbase is going to blacklist BabelFish or anything, but I'm saying that imagine one user inject their stable coins in your protocol. Do they become immune of that risk? If Coinbase or your Tether tries to freeze their account, I think they cannot do it anymore because they don't have their USDT anymore. They only have XUSD. So I think they become immune to the risk of custodians going crazy with their money.
Yes. So no, it's a good question, and there's we can talk about idiosyncratic risks across the stablecoin ecosystem per issuer. We can have a full hour-long conversation about that. Again, I don't see the blacklisting risk as being the highest on the list as it comes to BabelFish. But the whole idea of BabelFish is that it has also it accepts different stable coins so that precisely you can hedge your risk, right? So it's just like you would hedge, your portfolios. When you hedge stable coins, you're basically spreading the risk across a basket of different stable coins. And so if something were to happen, some sort of bad, horrible event were to happen to the underlying collateral of stablecoin, that's the whole point of having a Bitcoin insurance, plus having strong tokenomics. If it weren't to be enough. So that's basically what BabelFish is built for precisely. So you don't really have to worry about, oh wow, I am holding this stablecoin and then suddenly something happens to it. You're spreading risk amongst them, the ones that are voted by the community as being worthwhile, and having demand by battle tested lending protocols, which also do their own valuation to accept them.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. I see the point.
I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's speaking? If you can state your pseudonym, that'd be great.
M Schaffer is my nickname. M. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
I've been in the Blockchain Whispers Premium some time ago, and I bought SOV in the initial sale, but I'm not staking it because, mainly for tax reasons, because where I live, when I stake something after 10 years, it becomes tax-free, and if I'm not staking after 1 year, it becomes tax-free. So that's the background. As it is looking right now, I will not be able to be part of the first two sales, right? Or is there still hope in some way?
Yes. Well, yes, you should always pay your taxes, and two, you should try to be sovereign. If you can do both, then congratulations. And then as it comes to your specific question, we are still taking feedback. The SIP, we were expecting to post the SIP, the official SIP for a SIP for official review on the Sovereign Forum today for another round of feedback on that forum, even though it's already the most popular um, entry right now in the forum. That's probably going to be delayed another day. There's a lot of feedback that we're hearing for to make the sovereign community as happy as we can in day one. And then also, oh wow, okay, but if I wasn't staking for precisely, for tax reasons, we are also evaluating, a potential airdrop. We just need to look at the tokenomics and the staking duration, so there's no selling pressure there, right? So that the values are aligned.
Dark Knight, can I?
Still hope. We'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Iago, yes, please.
Guys,
Good to have you here.
yeah, I just wanted to say one of the things that we're looking to do is create a mechanism which would basically allow us to modulate liquidity mining rewards and things like that on the basis of staking of SOV. And this is not ready yet. It could take some time. We've got a new liquidity mining system coming out soon, and those of you who use Sovereign will get to experience it. But this would be an additional thing that would come afterwards, which potentially we could sort of like give bonuses to people who are doing liquidity mining based on their staking of SOV. And what we could potentially try and do is where Sovereign is collaborating with BabelFish on staking, we could make that work for that kind of staking as well. That kind of liquidity mining as well. So we could potentially provide ways on an ongoing basis for sovereign stakers to, benefit from the collaboration of the two projects.
Awesome.
That's really exciting.
If you are toggling your mic on and off and I cannot see it, please. Oh, I see Crypto Jensen. How are you?
Question. So, what would be the reason if I had stablecoin and I want it in Aave myself, I would gain all the interest myself. Why would I want to consider BabelFish for my stablecoin as a customer? Why would I want to use it your BabelFish way as opposed to going directly to Aave myself?
Great question. So when you use your stablecoin to go to Aave, that's great. You're using your stablecoin. But if you want to use your stablecoin, say on Sovereign, you can use your stablecoin on Sovereign while earning fish and being part of a hedged stablecoin that is insured with Bitcoin. So that's basically the answer.
Great. My last question is so the fish token. The tokenomics of fish token, is there going to be a continual supply increase, or is there going to be a max cap on the amount of fish tokens available? Because I could imagine a time when we have to continually give fish tokens to new people who keep staking, and that system would just keep diluting the existing holders' tokens.
Yeah, so it's finite. We have a finite supply at the moment, as it's being proposed on the alpha. We've seen projects that try to, always be printing and then burning, including stable coins, like Rebase, but that's another conversation. We think that's interesting. We think that our project, as it works with a finite supply, we can create some really cool tokenomics, and we do not need to constantly, be printing and playing with sort of like the monetary policy of the protocol. Again, this is an experiment that we're starting with a very simple alpha project. And as it evolves over the years, if all goes well, or if it doesn't, we can evolve accordingly, which is what's beautiful about this experiment.
Thank you very much, Dark Knight.
Hey, Dark Knight, can I jump in?
Yes, if you can just say what's your nickname, that'd be great.
All right, hey guys, this is Novax here from the Block to the Future blog, and I just wanted to add a couple thoughts and comments. I think I had initially interpreted BabelFish as being sort of similar to a maker or DAI, and I like that idea. I like what BabelFish is doing even more now that I understand it a little bit differently. And I just wanted to ask about kind of the nuances within managing the retained stablecoin collateral. So with regard to, let's say we've got, are we going to try to equally distribute between all of the stablecoins within the BabelFish portfolio that's being invested in DeFi? So like 20% USDC, 20% USDT, 20% DAI, so on and so forth. Or are we aiming to dynamically adjust those holdings in order to mitigate risk within the protocol based on our perception of the stability of the different stablecoins in the market?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you for the feedback, Novax. So yeah, the objective of BabelFish is really to have a balanced basket, as you know, as evenly spread as possible. Clearly, there are some stablecoins that are more popular than others, and there are mechanisms that we've accrued. Our team has learned, from experience and from different, DeFi composability tools out there, in which we can basically give incentives to incentivize or disincentivize certain stablecoins from being deposited or from being withdrawn. And so that's basically the objective, right? To have a sort of like evenly distributed and adjusted based on demand and supply and perceived risks, plus the importance of the fish governance to make votes and really decide which stablecoins should be allowed, be kicked, or even to have a lower percentage in the basket or a higher one.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I was thinking about it in terms of, future developments. Can we develop the balancing in a programmatic way, or can we incentivize the balancing with the fish minting? Which raises another question. So, for example, like when a user feeds BabelFish protocol stablecoins, if we want to increase our holdings of DAI and lower our holdings of USDT, for example, which is a scenario I can envision us doing, would we potentially offer a higher rate of fish at that time for the person minting those? So we could offer kind of a rates tab of stablecoins. When you feed the BabelFish this coin, we mint you 7% of fish versus 9% for that coin, etc.
Yes, I love the way that you're thinking and the vision that you have. We should definitely talk more about this in the chat. These are things that exist today and that we can implement, and then it can even get even more interesting about rebalancing also across chains with atomic swap. So we should definitely continue this conversation.
And I know your objective is to keep it simple as well. So those kinds of those directions do become more complex, and so yeah, I think it will be a battle between providing the vision that we're all building, and then doing it in a way that's simple enough to understand and implement and use.
Absolutely. Thank you for the feedback, Novax. Let's keep that conversation going for sure.
Cool.
Is there a way to extend the SOV staking, or it's like closed now?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Just wanted to check, like, was the deadline 1 May final, or can be extended to sometime for SOV staking?
Again, the SIP is not final. We're going to come up with something that we really think it's fair for blockchain whispers and for sovereigns community, and so most likely that that's what matters, the cutoff date. And it's likely by that time most people had heard about it, whether you were in Sovereign or you were in Blockchain Whispers or you're part of the, or you were just, you know, in either of those communities. By that date, you probably should have heard some whispers in this chat about the cutoff date.
Good evening, Dark Knight. There has been a question in the chat by Green Hornet. He asks about regarding the governance. Are we rolling our own futurity solution, and what are the plans around liquidity of the Futurity markets?
Right. So Futurity, for those of you who maybe have been going a bit really digging into the very simple and minimal copy that we have on BabelFish. The origins of BabelFish really come all the way back to Cement DAO, which was a project to be a stablecoin aggregator back in 2018, where the DeFi markets did not exist. There were no yields, you know, and the total combined USD float out there was, I don't know, maybe less than $2 billion. And since then, some of our members have been engaged in conversations with Professor Robin Hanson, who basically coined this term Futurity. It's a really cool concept that would be great to implement in decentralized governance. It hasn't been successfully implemented yet, but it's our vision. So we can start with simple governance tools that exist out there and work well, but the idea would be to work toward that goal. We really recommend you to Google that term, and just Professor Robin Hanson in general. He has some cool books, including the Elephant in the Mind as well, which is completely unrelated to this topic. But so yeah, so we that's the ambition. That is the goal. We will probably start with some tools that exist already in the market for governance, so we can, you know, have a functioning governance ASAP.
Thank you for answering.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, so just a follow-up to that, like talking about tools that are available in the market at the moment, governance tools specifically. Of course, like what are we going to be using? Are we going to be using like something like Aragon, or are we going to be using something like one of the other solutions that have been rolled from like Compound or something similar to that?
Yeah, so since this is a rootstock first slash sovereign first project, we're probably going to be using a similar form of governance tool to the one that's been developed by Sovereign. That seems to be working really well, and it's a sort of this decentralized project that inspires us.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah.
And sorry, just one last question on the Futarchy stuff. Of course, it's awesome that you guys have been speaking to Hanson and stuff like that. There's a lot of work has been done on Futarchy. I've been following the various projects that have been trying to implement Futarchy for a number of years now, probably as long as you guys have been working on these older protocols. So, you have Gnosis, have their conditional tokens framework and stuff like that. I mean, will you guys be?
No. Yeah.
Huh?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just muting. Go ahead, Green Hornet.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of work that has been done previously that is really easy to port over to rootstock and stuff. I mean, are you guys like how I guess that my question is really like how far down the road are you guys into thinking about Futarchy and implementing it essentially?
Yeah, I'd be happy to hook you up with the right member of the team that's in charge of that part, because it sounds like you really can bring a lot of value to the development in that area.
That'd be great.
Let's do that. Awesome. If you are toggling your mic and I cannot see you, just jump in. Awesome, guys. I also want to announce we just added just for fluid communications. Some of you are not all the time on Discord. Some of you prefer Telegram. So we had a Telegram announcements channel. Now we have also a Telegram group. You can find the link on the welcome page, which is basically the first right below the Hitcher's Guide in the menu on the left. So if you want to head there, we will also be announcing this Telegram community in our announcements on Telegram as well. If there's no further comments, we have a lot of work and a lot of feedback to review from all of you guys to make this a reality as soon as possible. So if there's some final questions, yeah.
Hi, brilliant, Donna. Now, government's been making quite a lot of noises about stablecoins and, pointing out quite a few points about how they're going to try to prohibit stablecoins from being used. What kind of risks could we kind of think could be potentially down the pipe from what the US state government could possibly do to stablecoins? Have we ever thought of how that could impact BabelFish?
So I haven't been reading many of those announcements. I'm not really up to, I don't really read the news much, but I think that's a risk that the issuers should be worrying about more than BabelFish.
Can I say something?
Nickname?
Iago.
Hi, Iago.
Yeah, I want to address that point because I think it's one of the coolest things for me about BabelFish is I'm pretty sure the issuers are gonna struggle with sort of allowing any kind of transaction, especially if they're US based like USDC or TUSD. And I think what might happen is that a large number of stablecoins migrate to BabelFish because then they're basically just sitting in a contract. And then if you're the regular, the travel rule is like, okay, I've sent my tokens to this contract. It's just sitting there. But in the meantime, people can continue to transact safe from the knowledge that they can't be blacklisted, that their addresses can't be blocked, and effectively for if you look down the line like 2 years, I think BabelFish becomes a sort of partner, like maybe not official partner, but something that Tether, USDC, and the other big stablecoins are going to be encouraging and looking to integrate with, so that they can continue to allow a large unfettered transactional flow, despite without having to deal with the regulatory burden of the travel rule that will come with sort of like just vanilla transactions in their coin.
Yeah, I think that's great feedback. I think the hardest battles and the hardest opportunities are definitely ahead for the whole stablecoin and Bitcoin ecosystem as a whole. Thank you for that. Cool. If there's no any questions, I think we can adjourn this very successful third meeting, and we will see you guys on the fourth one. Please keep on providing any feedback, whether in the Sovereign forum or in the Discord chat. I think there's, it's really, really amazing. This is really what makes it all worthwhile. Again, feel free to join the Telegram, and yeah, let's keep communications transparent, fluid, and see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Iago. Thank you, Dogfish.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dog.
All right,
Cheers,
have a good
guys.
one, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.